It's your boy Jose from Big Meat Sports. How are you guys doing on this lovely week? If you guys are checking us out on YouTube, thank you. We appreciate you. Hey, but check us out on our other podcast stations. We do upload a lot of videos on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So check us out on those platforms. Also, check us out on Instagram. But first and foremost, we are going to start this podcast out with some news this weekend. If you guys are clueless and haven't paid attention, this what's happened in the news this past weekend.
All due respect, my friend Desmond Howard. Tom Brady says he's coming back. This is what he tweeted. This past 2 months, I've realized my place is still on the field, not in the stands. That time will come. It is not now. I love my teammates and I love my supportive family. They make it all possible. I'm coming back for my 23rd season in Tampa. Unfinished business for Tom Brady.
So Tom Brady's back and he's coming out of a short retirement. Man, look, it was just only 30 plus days that he retired for. I'm guessing gas prices are extremely high when Tom Brady comes out of retirement. So it's just, I mean, I wonder if he did this on purpose on when they broke the news of his retirement, and he's just playing cat and mouse with the media and just wanted to put that out there. He's retiring and he always knew that he was going to come back. But yeah, and hey, maybe he got maybe those 30 days and with the kids all to himself, and Giselle basically doing her thing. I think he's like, F them kids, I'm gonna go back to full-time working. So I don't know. It's it kind of suspicious on Tom Brady coming back. But look, he said he was going to play until he was 45, and he it looks like a man of his word, and coming back for a 23rd season. But what does this mean for the NFL? I mean, I think this is good. This is good publicity for the NFL. Tom Brady coming back, it's going to be good for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers look like they're going to go in a little decline, and he's back with the team, and you can see how this is affecting a lot of the free agent signings. I think a lot of the Buccaneers that probably were thinking about leaving probably are thinking about staying now, with Tom Brady being back. A chance to get back to another Super Bowl with Tom Brady. But then you see, look, Denver Broncos signing Russell Wilson. I mean, to me, that's a really big signing. Now the Denver Broncos have their quarterback. And I just want to know what happened in Seattle. There's a lot of echoes going around that, him and Pete Carroll or him and the offensive coordinator didn't get along. I felt like in Seattle, the offense was basically run the ball and control the clock because they always had a dominant defense, except for the past few seasons or past couple seasons, but they always had a really good defense that they can rely on. But I don't feel that, that happened last season, and you can see the struggles with Russell Wilson. I feel like it was just a run-based offense first, and then when it got, down to the end of the game, they wanted Russell Wilson to work his magic, and I don't think that Russell was in that same game plan. The offensive line was struggling. They never addressed it the years that he was there. They just thought he was Houdini and always can escape the pocket. But going to Denver, I think this is going to be a very, very good fit for Russell Wilson. They're going to have a decent offensive line. They have playmakers at the wide receiver level. They have a good running game. They have a great defense. So Denver Broncos is a team to watch out. But look, to me, it all trickled down with Russell Wilson signing Tom Brady. This free agency period is crazy right now. You have Dallas Cowboys. I don't know what they're doing. I mean, as a Cowboys fan, it's just frustrating because you get rid of Amari Cooper. Okay, Amari Cooper is the best route runner in the NFL. or we're top in the NFL, but he's one of our best route runners. Yes, there were times that he, cold weather games, he really didn't show up. But hey, it happens. You knew what you're signing up for. But you get rid of Amari Cooper and then you lose Cedric Wilson. I mean, it's just like, now we're just you give Michael Gallup his money. Which okay, I get the Michael Gallup signing. Michael Gallup talent is extremely rare. Guy can go get the ball. And he didn't really have major injuries until the ACL injury. But if you ever realize, somebody that tore in his ACL, which had ruptured my ACL and had torn meniscus on both sides. But have you seen other players, other professional players? It takes them about year two from post ACL reconstructive surgery for them to be back to them old selves. So this year coming up, you're not going to see the old Michael Gallup. You're going to see a timid Michael Gallup of, you know, how he cuts and stuff like that. And then he's going to build confidence into that, cutting on that surgically repaired knee. And again, year two is where you're going to see the old Michael Gallup going and jumping for balls, 50-50 balls, those slant routes where he's just hands on. So that's just my big take on this whole, Michael Gallup thing. I like the guy, but I think we should have tried to keep Cedric Wilson as best we can. Now Cedric Wilson goes to Miami, which I think it's a great pickup for Miami. Miami Dolphins, they need some playmakers, and you get Cedric Wilson, which is he's a burner. He's a burner, but he's a decent route runner. And the thing that is telling about Cedric Wilson is that he was a former quarterback. He knows how to get to open spots. So I think he's going to help Tua out a lot in the passing game and just feeling out, being like one of those option routes where he can go and be like that little safety blanket for Tua. But I just don't get what the Dallas Cowboys are doing on this free agent signing, because look, they get D-Law back, which he takes a team friendly deal where it's a less cap hit on the first year. And people were talking about D-Law not doing it for the team, and I think he did with this signing. But then you get the reports. All right, we signed Gregory early in the morning, and I was like, yes, Randy Gregory's back. That's a staple of our defense. And then he changes course and goes to Denver Broncos. And I'm just trying to figure out what happened there, because the reports are, I think the Cowboys were trying to cover their end on, some of the language of, I guess, his past history and stuff like that. I think they're just trying to protect themselves in that aspect. And Gregory didn't like it, and he went with the exact same deal to Denver. So I hear Jerry Jones is livid right now. And hey, look, to each his own. Gregory, Dallas Cowboys gave Gregory a chance. He had multiple issues, off the field issues, and we gave him a chance, and he exceeded expectations. He did really good job. This guy's a beast. And then he just turned his back to the Dallas Cowboys organization and the Jones family. Hey, it's a business. You're gonna go where you feel fit in, and I guess he feels more fit with the Denver Broncos and going over there. And hey, look, you can smoke weed over there in Denver. It's legalized in Denver, so we'll see how he acclimates into the Denver lifestyle. But I mean, I'm just trying to, like, the Dallas Cowboys, I feel like they're losing a lot of people, a lot of key people, and not signing, the important people. Okay, so we got Cedric Wilson gone. Connor Williams is gone. I'm kind of iffy on that, because now what happens to Lyle Collins? You're trying to trade him. So now we're going to be without Connor Williams and Lyle Collins, and we're banking on Tyron Smith that's been injury prone for the past, I don't know how many seasons now, but he's getting longer too. So he's old. So what's going to happen? I mean, Cowboys, you need to address the offensive line because that was a main issue last year. This Dallas Cowboys was always known for the offensive lines, and I just feel like right now our offensive line is really bad. We're relying on Terrence Steele's development, which he did great for us last year, stepping in when Lyle Collins was suspended for I think what was it, 5 or 6 games, whatever the case may be, and he stepped up really well. And it was his second year, so sometimes he did better than Collins, but now they're putting on their money in Steele, trying to get rid of Collins, Connor Williams. We haven't really addressed the center position, and now we have an old left tackle in Tyron Smith. So I mean, we just had Dallas Cowboys have so much needs. Like now we had to look for another edge rusher, another linebacker. Reports, Bobby Wagner. Are we going to sign him? He has us in his list of teams that he's potentially. But how much money do we give him? Cowboys before this whole fiasco with them restructuring Dax and other people's contracts, they freed up $19 million. But now with all the key losses, how much money do they have to spend? There's some good pass rushers out there. I mean, Clowney is more of a run stopper, which I wouldn't mind getting Clowney. There's Tyrann Mathieu, a safety, even though we just re-signed Malik Hooker. But Tyrann Mathieu's out there. I don't know what's going on with Jaron Kearse, but he said, thank God. He sent a tweet saying, thank God earlier. But it hasn't really been an official announcement that he's re-signed with Dallas. So it's kind of crazy this past free agency period and this ongoing free agency period that's going on for the Dallas Cowboys. It's good for Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins look like they're willing to spend money. They're getting, Chase Edmonds as a running back. They get Cedric Wilson, get Connor Williams. Miami Dolphins look like they're trying to make moves to, become a winning franchise. They were a winning franchise, but they took a step back last year. And I think that they're trying to reload. I won't say rebuild. I want to say reload and to get back into the winning ways because taking a big step back from last year. I think that, they noticed something. I always said that they needed a running back. Chase Edmonds, hey, I would say he's a decent running back, guy that can catch a ball out of the backfield, a little shifty. And that might be good for Tua. Little check downs here and there. Don't have to force a ball. Check it out in Chase Edmonds, see what he can get, 5 to 6 yards a catch or whatever, or he might break one. So, but I'm liking what the Dolphins are doing. But yeah, with the Wilson signing to Denver again, that was just a big surprise with the Denver Broncos. But we're trying to see, it's everybody. When you have a big free agent signing like Denver Broncos with Russell Wilson, I feel like everybody's trying to go to Denver right now, and they had a few more signings. I think the defensive end from the 49ers they got, and they're getting multiple people. So shout out to the Denver Broncos on taking it to the next level. And really stat that I saw on the Colin Hurd show was at teams that go big in free agency and spend a lot of money improve their winnings by at least 5 games. So with those teams, the Miami Dolphins are spending money right now. Jacksonville Jaguars, even though Jacksonville, I feel that are giving money to players, that don't really need it, or not don't really, but hasn't really proved themselves, or like not that really good players, like Christian Kirk. I mean, this guy got a big contract and he's never had 1,000 yards since he's been in the league. So that's crazy. And then they gave They gave some money to Evan Ingram from the tight end from the Giants, and this is another guy that hasn't, he has talent, but he has a case of the drop season. Really hasn't performed really that well this the years that he's been in the league. So he's been somewhat of a bust, if you want to say, in New York. So, but hey, you never know. Maybe that will change when he goes into Jacksonville. But Jacksonville has been big spenders, a lot of big spenders right now. But again, it's just with the Cowboys situation, it's just very frustrating. I hate the offseason because they always try to, have their names in the news as much as possible, not just with free agents, but look, with the Jerry Jones thing, and he has a daughter that, he tried to keep the mom silent for all these years. I don't know how true that is, but it's very frustrating to be a Dallas Cowboys fan. And, we saw so much potential last year and then early round exit. I just thought they were just going to reload and do what the Rams did and just spend the money on key players, try to keep your core people, and it looks like they're just losing a lot of people as of late. But we will transition to the basketball. Look, as basketball season is ramping up, almost getting ready for the playoffs, the Heat. Look, the Miami Heat, and that's home team, and we're gonna always talk about the Miami Heat on this podcast. Miami Heat, as of late, have been a little bit inconsistent the past few games, and you got to credit out, Jimmy Butler, had a sinus infection, so he was out, so we lost a game on that one, and this some people here, back-to-back games, some people sitting out. It's just been inconsistent on the winning part, but I guess we as Heat fans have been spoiled on consistently a winning streak of 5 to 6 games or whatever the case may be. I think we've been spoiled in that aspect, and it's just like win one, lose one, win one, lose one. But it's getting time to that time frame period where Eric Spoelstra has decisions to make. He's trying to tinker with the offense on trying to put out, where does Victor Oladipo fit in this offense? Because Victor Oladipo is extremely talented. He's a great defender. So they're trying to figure out key pieces. Caleb Martin, how many minutes are you gonna, play him? Struce, Gabe Vincent. I think Gabe Vincent might get like the short end of this stick because Victor Oladipo coming back. I think that with Victor Oladipo coming back, he's going to replace when Lowry comes out. He's going to go in. So I think, but we'll see. Like, again, this is all Spoelstra needs to figure out before the playoffs and what matches, what players match well with each other or mesh well with each other when on the court. But I do think they need to give some people some rest. PJ Tucker has been logging a lot of minutes. We need to get him rested and well for the playoffs. And Dedmon, man, those legs, those old legs, bro. I think he needs some rest as our backup center. He's been as of late being how I say a liability on the defensive side because not getting back in transition and this missing assignments. Dedmon it's been happening in Dedmon as I watch the games. So he probably needs a couple games rest, get those knees back, with some energy because he's he's our backup center. He's backup to Bam. He comes in, he gives us energy and stuff like that. So I think it's time to start resting Dedmon. But we'll see. The Miami Heat are still number one in the East. They got a couple 2.5 games at the current moment on Milwaukee. I still want that number one seed. I don't care who we face. I know Brooklyn is most likely going to be in a play-in game. So a lot of people are feared of playing them on the first round, but it is what it is. I like our chances with Brooklyn due to the fact that our actions on the offensive side is going to tire out, Kyrie and possibly Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant and Kyrie are on another level of shooting. So you just got to get them in foul trouble. And we do a lot of cutting, a lot of movement. And I think that would help us out with that, Brooklyn Nets series because, they're decent on the defense, but I can think we can expose them, especially with Drummond. If they have Drummond in the game, I think we expose them a lot. And if that Lamarcus Aldridge is very, very slow. So again, we just do so much movement. I think it'll be a benefit for us. It'll be advantageous for us if we see the Brooklyn Nets. But again, they have the best shooters in the league right now. So that's something you have to keep a testament. If we can avoid them, hey, I would like to avoid them. But if we don't, hey, it's one of those things you have to take the bull by the horns and face your opponent. And Miami Heat's not scared of anybody. But let's talk about the Lakers. Look, these Lakers, they might be lucky just play in the play-in game because the West is that bad. But it looks like they're going to be like play-in game and one and done in the play-in game because the Lakers are looking bad right now. Since the All-Star break, they only won 2 games, and both of those games were with LeBron James scoring over 50 points, and they won those. When he scores 30 points, they have lost those games. So it's crazy to see this Laker team. This Laker team is very old. They don't play really good defense. At one point, the Toronto Raptors were up, 21 points on them in the first quarter. It was crazy to see that in the first quarter. They gave up 48 points to the Suns in the first quarter, so they're really bad at defense. But I think it all stems from Russell Westbrook. This guy he's a cancer to this team, and with him, his horrible shooting and turning the ball over, this guy is hurting this Lakers team. Now, people say, "Oh, look, just wait until Anthony Davis comes back." But yes, okay, you get Anthony Davis back, but you still have Russell Wilson turning the ball over. Like it's just you don't have that person you don't have that point guard right now to give you confidence. And look, he's hurting them with turnovers, he's hurting them with the shooting, and he's hurting them with the leadership. You don't see him really being a leader on the sideline. When you see Carmelo is on the sideline, he's out there cheering and rooting his team on and stuff like that. When you see Russell Westbrook, he's fighting with fans on the sideline. It's just crazy. It's all in his head right now. I think Lakers. Look, do you want Anthony Davis back right now? Because again, he's injury prone. Are you, as a Laker fan, wanting Anthony Davis to rest up for the rest of the year, and let's take this team into next year, and don't play Anthony Davis? Are you a Lakers fan that wants that, or are you a Lakers fan that wants to? No, we need Anthony Davis. We're gonna try to make a run and stuff like that, but then there's a potential Anthony Davis might get hurt again, and it might be longer injury and going into next season. So, to me, as an NBA fan, I would want to see. How do I say? I want to see Anthony Davis play, but in the benefit that that the Lakers are not going to go anywhere, rest the man and let him play next year and go, because this season's a wash for the Lakers. I don't see Lakers doing anything. Lakers need make a lot of moves and get rid of a lot of players to be a good team next year. They're just relying on LeBron to play out this world to be a winning organization right now. But yeah, it's crazy of what's happening this NBA season with the Lakers. I'm trying to find my little thing that I had here. Okay, there you go. So we had a new segment last week of the worst stat of the week. So, and this week, our worst worst stat of the week and worst player. We put a worst player, trash player of the week. We can put a trash player of the week. We're going to rename this segment as trash player of the week. But our trash player of the week is Tony Snell. All right, Tony Snell. So in 2 games during a week in March, Tony Snell played a total of 53 minutes. Okay. 53 minutes, scored a total of 3 points. He was, what is that? 1 for 10 in shooting. But that's horrible. Look, Tony Snell. So this was games versus Memphis Grizzlies and Orlando Magic, and he couldn't score a point versus Orlando Magic. 50 something minutes and you can't score a point. Like, you score 3 points and that's it. And that's just 1 3-pointer, and then that's it. Man, boy, you're out there doing cardio. That's all I gotta say. You out there doing cardio, because I don't know what you're doing. You're not getting blocks. You're not getting steals. You're just out there just basically getting your cardio in for the week. So that's Tony Snell. Tony Snell is our trash player of the week. So let's just shout out to Tony Snell for Big Meat Sports trash player of the week. But that's it for this week. We're look, this free agency period is going wild, so we might have another episode coming up. But thank you guys for tuning in for Big Meat Sports. Don't forget, again, check us out. If you check us out on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, but also check us out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We put more videos. We have a lot of more content on those platforms. And yeah, just let me know what you think about the podcast, and thank you for my fans that continue to subscribe and continue to listen. Thank you again, and we'll check you out on the next episode.